Right, thank you for taking time for watching this video that you're about to watch. Now, I'd love you all to subscribe to my channel. Let's get the subscribers up. But one of my favourite and most loyal subscribers is one of my daughters, who she's just made this for me. Look at that. What does it say?
Subscribe to Colin.
So what do you want the people to do?
To subscribe to my daddy.
Good morning, internet. It is Saturday. It is the 16th of December and it is 3 minutes past 12. Now you'll have to excuse the audio because I don't know if you see on this camera, but I have this it's a bit chilly this morning, or this afternoon. It is actually this afternoon because it's 3 minutes past the hour of midday, but I have this all-in-one, you know what I mean. Tried to keep you all right. So the weather here today isn't too bad by the look of it. Like I said, it's a bit chilly. Now, according to the Himalayan, the good old trusty temperature gauge, it's saying it's 12 degrees. So basically, we're going to be looking at what? Say, I don't know, 8 or 9 degrees. So yeah, a touch chilly. So this is, I haven't been out on the bike for ages, so obviously Himalayan, that's what I'm using. And I thought to myself, because a little spin down to Audierne, which you've been to many times before with me, and I just thought we'd see if they put any decorations up or what's it like down there. Basically it gets me out on the bike and it gives us a spin at the same time. So I will get on. Sorted there, eh? Oh, it is nice to be back on it, or on them, or anything with two wheels, as long as it hasn't got pedals on at the moment anyway. Oh, that was an excellent start, that was, wasn't it? Eh? Now hang on a sec, we've got to take it out of gear to start it up. Surely I haven't forgotten how to ride it after all this time, eh? I know I haven't been on it for a while, but that's taking the Mickey Mouse. Right, okay, and here we go. Put the visor down a bit because it is a tad cool. Roll on summer, that's all I can say. Roll on summer. Try not to stall it again, eh? I don't think I've stalled a bike for years. I can't really blame it on anything though, can I? Apart from bad riding. Right, so I hope everybody's okay. Welcome back to the channel, and hopefully where you are the weather's improved a little bit. It's been absolutely awful here. Went for that 6th gear again, look, hey? Just wasn't there though. Yeah, so the weather here, absolutely terrible. Rain, rain, rain all the time. And it is actually nice just to get a break for a bit, you know? Yeah, so what's been going on? So if you watched the little video that I put on yesterday, where I was on about, I had a couple of tools come, the torque wrench and the hex key set, but I was mentioning that I'd ordered an air filter a BMC air filter from Italy, which was coming to me via GLS. And the ongoing saga was that I had a message from GLS, I think it was on Tuesday, saying they delivered it. And so basically then, you know, you get onto GLS, which I did several times, no response from GLS, hardly surprising. And then I got back onto the supplier in Italy, who straight away got onto GLS, and he's also waiting for a response. I mean, basically all I said was to the seller and to GLS, well, nothing's been delivered here, yeah, so if you get your driver, the one that delivered it, to come to the house, you know, and show me where he put the air filter, I'm sure we can clear it up. But like I said, no response. But yesterday evening, a lady turned up at the door, French lady, turned up at the door. Well, she would be French really, wouldn't she? So stands an excellent chance to be. And she had the air filter, and she'd managed to track me down. So she said, I don't know why it was delivered to me. She's been away for a few days and she's got back and she's found the air filter just sat on her doorstep. So a bit of a miracle it's still there really, but still. Anyway, so she said, I don't know why it was here. She said, my name is clearly on my letterbox, as is mine. She said, so yeah. So I got the air filter. So the delivery driver had delivered it to totally the wrong address. I couldn't even be bothered to notify GLS. What's the point? Well, obviously notified the seller. So it's a happy ending for the seller and me anyway. Again, GLS France, this isn't the first time that I've had things go wrong with them, you know. GLS, you know, which is worldwide distribution, and it seems to work well in all other parts of the world until it gets to the French territory, and then for some unknown reason it seems to go totally wrong, you know. And I'm not the only one that's had trouble with GLS. I don't know what it is, their drivers just seem to be incapable of finding the address. Still, at the end of the day, I got my air filter, which the wife says, because she got it, sort of, she said it's been wrapped up for Christmas, and that's that. So there you go, can't argue with the wife, can you? But anyway, yeah, so that's that problem solved. I have my air filter. Right, so look at this, I mean, it's not an absolutely brilliant day today, but I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah, it's it hasn't rained. It didn't rain yesterday, as you can see. Look, the roads are actually quite dry, so it didn't rain yesterday and it hasn't rained today, so that's 2 days we've had with no rain, which well, it's like a blessing in disguise. It really is. It's been, like I said, it's been really bad. So what I'd like to do, the initial thing with this ride is I'm coming down here for 2 reasons. One, I'd like to just get out on the bike, which is what I'm doing, so that's great. But secondly, Audierne, for the last couple of years, they've put quite a good Christmas light show on of an evening, so I'm coming down today to see what they've done and if they've put any lights up and that, and then if they have, I'm just thinking it could be worth having a ride down on the evening, well, not this evening, but certainly one evening next week, or maybe, I don't know, Sunday, I don't know, anyway, one evening in the future, and copping the lights. Now, and I think I've said this before, I'm not too sure if the GoPro will do a good job of it. GoPros are great for, you know, close-up things, but anything that's in the distance, they don't really pick it up that good. And yes, I know that you can go into pro settings, and again, I've touched on this before. Me and cameras, no, I don't understand them. I've never sat down and tried to understand them, you know, changing all the ISO and God knows what else, and shutter speed to get more lighting, and apparently that's how it's done. But yeah, I remember trying once, made a total mess of everything and scrapped the whole video, which was no big deal. I just went and did it all again. But yeah, so I thought to myself, that's it, never going to do it again, it's not going to work. So yeah, so that's the plan. If the lights are up, then a ride down to Audierne of a night time, see if we can cop the lights. So it will be interesting to see today. So the other thing is, I'm not too sure if I said this in the video yesterday, but if I did, you have to hear it all over again. It's as simple as that. So I've been thinking recently about changing the gearing on the Himalayan, because as everybody knows that follows me, I don't off-road. This bike is purely well, this is the go-away bike now, you know. This is the one for camping and everything else. So it does more highway work, motorway, main road work, to get to A to B, and then once you're there, it doesn't matter, does it? Because, you know, you go all around the, you know, the little roads, but actually to get there, i.e. like the Normandy trip. Anyway, so I was thinking of putting a bigger sprocket, a 15 tooth sprocket on the front, and so, but now, after listening to people, one of my subscribers as well, who sent me loads of stuff over, I'm sure I said all this yesterday. Oh well, if I did, I did. Anyway, so now I've ordered a sprocket, but for the back, yeah. So I'm going, instead of going up one at the front, I'm going down two at the back, and that's what's going to happen. That's what I'm going to do. So, and that should then give me, lower the revs down, yeah, and should make, you know, cruising more easier for the bike itself, you know, because the revs will be dropped down, the engine's not working so hard, your fuel economy in theory should go up a bit, although I've got to be honest, the fuel economy on these bikes are pretty damn good anyway. So, you know, all in all, but that's it. So that should arrive sometime just before Christmas. I think it's due to arrive. It's not coming with GLS, so hopefully they'll deliver it to the right house. I shouldn't really keep on snidey remarks, should I? It's not clever. Anyway, so yeah, be fitting that, and that'll be an interesting job. This little car here, look, little Renault, huh? Look at that. It's like having a motorbike with a cover on, in a way. I think the I'm trying to think now, was it, I'm sure years ago there was a C3, was it a Sinclair C3 or something? I'm not too sure now. And I think, didn't that have like it was like a covered scootery thing? Yeah, can't quite remember. Anyway, that's beside the point. So back to the sprocket. Yeah, so I'm gonna fit the sprocket probably over the Christmas holiday, and while I've got the back wheel out of this, I'll take all the brakes, all the sliders apart, grease them up. Good opportunity. Yeah. Now I'm just looking at these clocks, yeah, the good old steaming up of the clocks, and because if you remember, I fitted that new ceiling, do you remember, a few weeks ago, and so this is the first time that I've actually ridden it, because what I did was I fitted the ceiling, then I went out on the bike and it was awful. There was a lot of condensation steaming up going in there, but I did say at the time, you know, it's because I felt that it had made a really good seal. Like everything, it has to dry out. But what I did do, I took the clocks apart again, and I left them stripped apart in the house, in the wall, for a few hours, and then I built them all back up. And since doing that, which was probably 4 weeks ago now, this is the first time that I've actually used the bike. Now I've got to be honest, yeah, okay, there's a slight misting, you know, but it is slight compared to the first time. It's nothing like it. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe this is on the right track now. I'm not going to split them again, because I feel like that with use of the bike now, I mean, it's come from a big temperature difference now. It's come from being in the garage. I mean, my garage isn't heated, but it's certainly not that cold, you know, to coming outside, and the weather, you know, the temperature is cold. I mean, now that we're here now, we've dropped down to 10 degrees, so I suppose we're looking at, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 degrees. So yeah, and the clocks aren't that bad. So I'm just going to leave these now, and I think in time that it'll all stop. Hey, he hopes. Maybe. I love this road here. This is a nice, you know, it's just a nice road. I've never actually worked out where people say that Himalayans don't pull up hills. Huh? I don't know. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to having this sprocket, and I'm also looking forward sooner or later to changing the cam. I think once the cam's changed and once the sprocket's done, you know, I mean, I love the way this bike rides now, I do, but I think with that done, I think that will be like, you know, the final bit, and yeah, I think it'll be like really good. I really do. I'm looking forward to it, I really am. Right, so we're coming into Audierne now. Like I said, I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be nothing on. Well, I wouldn't have thought so. Anyway, I can't see the point in the daylight. But I'll be able to see if they've fitted any lights or not. Look at all the boats along there, all got out of the water for winter because they do all the maintenance on them to get them back in next year. Oh, the lights are, they have got some lights there. They do a lot of projector lights here, so it's difficult to see, but normally if they've got all these lights along the side here, they've got all the projectors up as well. So yeah, I'd say it's all systems go, as they say. Yeah, there's some of the projectors there, see them? On them white things. See these there, look? They've got all projectors on the top, see them? I don't know whether, hopefully the GoPro's getting that. And there's a bit of a market on today. I think we'll just ride along the front. Don't particularly want to go up there because, oh, not yet anyway, we might go that way back. See, there's projectors here, look, see these here, look, see all these? Yeah, the projectors there, that's all projectors. Seagull needs to move. That's going out on the boats. There's all, look there on all these posts here, look, see? All projectors. So yeah, loads of them, look. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely thinking that maybe well worth a ride down one evening, because obviously they've gone, look at them, there's loads of them. Yeah, there you go then. Glad I came down. Be interesting to see. Wow, what, you just didn't want to look, eh? What? Certainly, you just cut me up, mate, eh? So there you go. It just gets me when people blatantly pull out in front of motorcyclists. It really, you know, I really do. It's not like I'm not visible, you know. They just think they've got the right just to pull out in front of you regardless, you know. And okay, you know, it wasn't exactly, there was no danger because I'm going slow, he's going slow, but it's being courteous, you know. So he drives a car, you know, then show some respect for other road users. Okay, rant over. You know, but that's how accidents are caused, yeah. Right, okay, so yeah, I definitely think it's worth a ride down here when it's dark. So out to the sea, look. But we've been along here many times before. Actually, it's not that, although the temperature's down, it's not that cold today. I'm quite, I have however got, you know, thermals on and chill out gear under the jacket, so, and I've got my little hoodie thing on under the helmet, so all in all, but yeah, it's quite comfortable really. I'm not that cold at all, and believe you me, if anybody feels a cold, it can be me. But it's a pleasant day. It's a pleasant day to come out for a ride. It's just nice to get out. And I've left it till sort of this time because typically in France they like the lunch here. So you know, it just makes it a bit quieter, yeah. And I do like quiet. There's a horse down there on the beach. I'm sure you won't pick it up, but there's a horse down there, not on its own of course, it's got a rider with it, you know, but what I have noticed is even like this stretch here, it's still quite, you know, there's still a lot of activity, you know, for the time of year. It's strange really. Yeah, I mean summertime, I think, well, especially this area, the Breton and probably Normandy, I think it probably suffered, well, it did suffer in the tourist trade. You know, there was times where I went out and I went to places, and this is in the height of the summer, and you know, it was really quiet. But I have noticed that the latter end of the year, we see like there was still a lot of people, like, you know, around, a lot of Brits, a lot of elderly Brits, sort of did September, October, even into November, you know. But of course, the cost of living, it doesn't matter. And I think as well, the price to get over here now, I think is a big factor, because you know, you come a lot of people that come to the Breton area here, they come on a ferry, you know. They tend to drive over, and the trouble is, ferry crossings these days are just not cheap, you know. And I think that had a lot to do. You know, you was looking, you know, with a family of 4, say, a car, return on Brittany ferries, you know, you was knocking on 800 quid. Then you got to put your caravan, you know, you stay in your caravan, and you're looking at 500 quid a week for that. So you're coming over for 2 weeks. I mean, it's a lot of money, you know, and I think that's why the tourist trade suffered, and I think it will continue to suffer. I mean, apparently Brittany ferries are in a bit of trouble from what I can gather, but I dare say that the French government will bail them out, because they do tend to jump in pretty quick if one of their sort of major employees or well-known is sort of falling apart. They tend to prop them up, you know. I'm not too, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not too sure. I mean, it's a good thing in one sense, I suppose, but maybe a bad thing in another. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not too sure whether they, or how, even if they got propped up, which I'm sure they will, but how they're going to make it profitable again, you know. Brittany ferries has always sort of gone along the lines that their ferries are really nice, quite plush and all that, which, to be fair, they are, you know, but I don't think that really comes into it, does it, you know. As long as you've got somewhere to sit and it's clean, and you know, the food that they serve up is decent-ish, people just want to get from A to B, you know. How a ferry is decorated, or you know, how plush the seating is, I'm not too sure when you're on a family holiday that really counts. But then again, you know, maybe to some people it does, I don't know. But is there enough of that sort of person to keep the ferry company going? I don't know. Anyway, not too sure why I'm rabbiting on about Brittany ferries. They don't make any odds to me. I mean, I must admit, when I do go back to the UK, I do use Brittany ferries, and or you know, depending, sometimes I'll sort of ride up to Calais and go across with P&O, depending on how rough the seas, because the thing is, the Brittany ferries crossing is a 6-hour crossing. I think it's a bit longer if you do the night crossing, whereas the Calais, Dover to Calais, or Calais to Dover crossing, that's only, what is it? Is that, it's just over an hour, isn't it? So yeah, so if the sea is really rough, sometimes it's a lot nicer doing the Calais, because I don't think anybody really wants to be, I mean, I've been on some ferries and you know, you're being hurtled from side to side, you know. I mean, it's really rough, and it's not pleasant, is it? You know, you get off, and then for the next 6 or 7 hours your body's still swaying from side to side, which isn't good if you're riding a motorcycle afterwards. Yeah. Right. So I haven't. I know the new. Well, it's the new Himalayan, because it hasn't been released. I don't think yet in Europe. In fact, I'm pretty sure it hasn't. I know the prices were released, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Which I got to be honest, you know, the prices were really keen. I'm not too sure of the actual release date, or I'm sure now that you can order. But it sort of seems to have died down a bit, doesn't it, you know? It sort of seemed to be, oh yeah, you know, the new Himalayan's out, and they did the motorbike show, and there was all this sort of hype about it, and of course, you know, Itchy Boots again. You know, I mean, I'm sure she did them a huge favour, and then all of a sudden it just seems to, like, you know, gone a bit quiet. But yeah, I'm sure next year, you know, for the spring and that, I'm sure that it's going to be well on its release in Europe, and anybody that wants to get one, you know, will have it just in time for the glorious weather again, eh? Well, that's unless you live in the Breton. maybe they should do a special edition for the Bretons and have an umbrella fitted to the back of it, because we need one instead of the sari guard you can get. They should have like an umbrella stand, because we certainly got more than our fair share of rain last year. We really did. It was a bit of a joke. You know, our summer here was a total washout. It really was. Well, just the ends of my fingers now are going a bit numb. Yeah, so I'm just looking at these clocks, and yeah, okay, there's misting. There is misting, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. And so I'm hoping in time that it will just disappear, yeah, because I don't really know what else you could do. You know, I'm pretty convinced that seal now has done its job. It's sealed the clocks. I really do believe it's sealed the clocks. So I don't think there's anything else that I can do, you know, I really don't. Got old mud on the road again, oh, look at this. Apparently, I heard that because that's, you know, that there was nothing, absolutely nothing. Sometimes the roads are absolutely thick of mud when they come out, and apparently certain departments in France now are making the farmers, just as they come out the fields, that they have to wash the mud off the tyres. And you know what, I've got to be honest, I don't think that's asking too much of them. I really don't, you know, because if you saw how thick the mud is that they get all over the roads, with no respect for anybody else's vehicle or safety, because let's face it, you know as well as I do, you eat thick wet mud on a bike, it's a bit dodgy, yeah. So, you know, I don't think that by doing that they're being asked too much. I really don't. But yeah, I'm sure someone somewhere would moan about it. Do you know what? Again, like, people say, oh, Himalayans, they're not responsive, you know, 0 to 60 in half an hour. I don't get that. I mean, I wasn't giving it any stick there. I gave it a little bit more than I usually would, because that car was coming down, but you know, there was plenty of power there. You know, I mean, the more mileage that you get on these bikes, I think you've got to do about 5,000, I'd say, for them to be absolutely, you know, freed up and raring to go. And if you look after them during that time, I think that you'll have an engine that serves you excellent. I really do, you know. Because this is absolutely plenty. I mean, you know, 5th gear, this is a hill, I'm pulling up. I mean, okay, you know, I've got a car in front of me, but you know, it pulls up here absolutely perfect. I just, like I said, I'm really looking forward to putting this sprocket on and then getting it out on a main road, you know, not this sort of road, getting it out on a, you know, on a sort of dual carriageway, motorway sort of thing, and seeing what it does. You know, I mean, yeah, it's going to lower the revs down. Be interesting to see. I think I will in a minute. I'll just, when I've got through our little medieval village of Ponquois, there's a straight bit of road there, and we'll see what it does at 80 kilometers an hour on the revs. Yeah, should be quite interesting, and then probably take a note of that, and then when the cam is fitted, be interesting to do that same run again. Mind you, I do think, because you have to when you fit this cam, you have to run it in. I think it's for 300 mile, 500 kilometers or something, you know, which makes sense, doesn't it? You know, because it's the, and of course it's like, you know, a cam, when you fit a cam, those first few revolutions are so important to it, you know, making sure it's well oiled up and that, you know, because but yeah, so it will be interesting to sort of compare what's what, and like with the sprocket on as well, you know, the speed with and without, you know, changing the sprocket and seeing the difference in that. It's all very interesting. It all gets very technical these days, doesn't it, eh? I remember when I was just a kid, you know, you just got a bike and you got on it, you know. Oh look, it's, hey, look at this, hey, superb single-seater Renault electric car, hey. Oh, I'll tell you what, I suppose there's one good thing about having one of them cars. You couldn't fall out with your wife for giving you the wrong directions, could you? Because there's nowhere for her to sit unless you stuck her on the roof, eh? Think about that one, gents. I must be very careful. Like I says, she doesn't watch many of them, but you can guarantee the ones she watches is the ones where I've said something. at these cables still down here. Look, look. After all this time of the storm, mind you, there's look at this. They're everywhere. I mean, I know they've got a huge repair job, but you know, come on, lads. Or are they just thinking, well, you know what? We're bound to cop a few more storms, so sod it, we'll leave them down. They're not causing any trouble, they're still connected. I wouldn't be surprised. See, look at this, straight up this hill. No trouble, that's in 4th gear. You know, I mean, straight over 80. Right, okay. So there's 80 kilometres an hour. And I'm doing just under, well, I'm doing like, no, hang on. I'm trying to watch 2 clocks here at a time. Let's get it back up to 80. So at 80, we're slightly under 4,000 revs. Yeah? 80 kilometres an hour. Slightly under 4,000, so I'd say about what, 3,800 maybe. Yeah, so it will be interesting when the sprockets put on to see what difference that makes, and then when I get round to doing the cam to see what difference that makes, if any, which I'm sure it will, you know, because it's like I said, the claim I think is for round about 4 to 5 extra brake horsepower, so you know it's going to make a difference. So basically, if I can get the cam and the sprocket done, oh look at that! Hey, look at that blue sky! Hey, just take a look at that. Anyway, if I can get, you know what? Sorry, but considering that it's the 16th of December, you know, this weather ain't bad, you know, is it, eh? I mean, yeah, okay, it's a bit nippy, but it's nowhere near what it could be. Absolutely nowhere near, you know? Yeah. Anyway, so if I can get back to the sprocket, if I can get that sprocket and the cam done sort of for next spring, end of spring, as long as it's done for the beginning of summer, because you know I've got a few trips that I want to do. Yeah, that'll be absolutely brilliant. I'm going to be loving it. Feel like this weather today, I mean, this is absolutely, I wouldn't say gorgeous, well I suppose it is really. Do you know what, we had a lot worse days than this in the summer, so you know, to be fair, you can't knock it, can you, hey? I tell you, you can definitely feel the difference when I ride the Himalayan to ride in the Meteor, as in the power wise. I mean, there's not, you know, there's not a huge difference in power, obviously, you know, but you can feel the difference. And if I had to say which one was my favourite bike, which one do I like best, although like I've pointed out many times, they're for 2 different purposes. But yeah, if someone said to me, right, okay, one of these bikes have got to go, you've got to keep one bike and one bike only, then I'm afraid it would be the Himi, you know. I enjoy riding the Himalayan. I think it's a more comfortable bike. Again, once you've got on it, and when I did that comparison video, you know, yes, they are not the easiest bike in the world to get on and off, especially if you're older or you've got a few ailments, and I fall into both them categories. But yeah, and I mean, this bike, I've changed the air filter, I've changed the snorkeling bit, I've changed the exhaust, so there's quite a bit that's done. And that's I don't know whether you can hear that noise, but that is my phone that's happily making the noise, which it will stop in a minute, and I can't answer it as I'm riding. Well, I can, but I'm not going to. There you go. There's my daughter. Right, there you go. So yeah, look at this, eh? Look at this sunshine, eh? Absolutely gorgeous. In fact, do you know what? We've come up to 15 degrees now. 15 degrees. So, well, I don't know, 12 maybe. 12 to 13. Excellent job. I mean, you can't knock this, can you, eh? A few more of this will be really nice. It really will. Right, so for anybody that follows me on a regular basis, this is the homeward stretch. I've enjoyed this ride. I love getting out on the bikes, I really do. I mean, nothing too exciting this time of the year, you've got to go no huge distances, but yeah, you know, it's just nice to get out. I hope you've enjoyed being out with me. I've loved you being along. If you like what I do, and if you're not subscribed to me, you know, hey, if you watch me now and again but you're not subscribed, just whack that subscriber button, eh? Hey, it's just nice, you know, it's just nice to get them subscribed, because the numbers are coming up. Yeah, I never thought it'd happen. I really didn't. When I started this little channel, you know, this has gone way past my expectations, but hey ho, you know, you get the bug now. So anyway, look, take care. I'll see you all in the next video. Look after yourselves. Bye for now.